You're welcome back to Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me on today's edition of the show is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Always a delightful moment, Kingsley. Good evening to you too, and good evening to our viewers out there.
And of course, we're privileged as well to have Dr. Elechi Onwueki. Good evening to you, Doctor, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Michael, and good evening to viewers on the show.
All right, we told you we have a lot for you today. Let's quickly take a look at the situation of things in basketball down here in the country. As we hear, 16 teams from Savannah and Atlantic conferences expected to battle for honors in the 2024 Nigerian Basketball Federation Women's League set for September. In a release signed by the NBA General Secretary Peter Njoku, the competition will hold in two phases with the National League Finals slated for Lagos in October. The invited teams in the Savannah will battle it out at Lafayette City Hall in Nasarawa for the first phase from 1st to 7th of September, while the second phase comes up at the Indus Sport Hall of the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja from the 22nd to 28th of September 2024. Now, the first phase in the Atlantic tipped off from 1st to 7th of September inside the indoor hall of the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, Delta State, while the second phase jumps off from 22nd to 28th September at Indus Sport Hall in Akure, Ondo State. Headlining the teams from the Savannah are former champions Air Warriors and Nigerian Custom First Bank and winning Queens MFM are high-profile names on the Atlantic list as well. Michael, let me start with you on this one. What do you make of it? The Nigerian Women Basketball League, of course, will make a return this time come September 7. What do you make of the league this time around? I think not too long ago we saw the last edition of it, and now we're having the league back. What do you make of this one?
Well, for me, Kingsley, I think I'm very much happy that the league will be back very soon. And at least we need to also consolidate on the performance of G Tigress. You saw how impressive they are. And I think we also need to start harnessing, other young talent right here back home, so that at least as some of the aged players will be aging, talking about the D Tigers, will also have a capable hand, to replace some of these players, because they cannot be there forever. The Lami Okonkwo you are hearing today, and Makamura that you are hearing, Ngozi Okonkwo, just name them. They will one day retire, and we need some capable hand that is going to replace them. And you don't wait until they begin to worn out, or until they begin to throw in the towel at their age before we start searching for a possible replacement. So for me, I think I'm very much happy that the league will be starting very soon. And of course, we'll have some, great players and great teams that have also made their mark. The likes of MFM, the likes of Custom. These are some of the traditional teams that have also made their mark out. And I believe, with the league kicking off, talking about the Savannah conference, I think it's a very healthy one. But then, over the years, we'll find it very difficult to sustain the momentum. At the initial start of the season, you see a whole lot of publicity, you see the excitement on the air, but then when the league get to middle of the season, that publicity seems to die down. When we begin to revibrate the fire again, it's possibly at the tail end of the season, because we'll have a certain team that will be possibly crowned champion. So for me, I want this publicity stunt not just to start at the end of the season, but it should also continue, so that we'll keep giving our league publicity that it truly deserves out there. So for me, I think I'm very, very happy. And buoyed by the fact that the D Tigers, they did us proud, breaking so many records out there in the just concluded Paris Olympic Games. They should also draw strength and inspiration from what the D Tigers did in the last Olympic game out there, to see that indeed, if they put in their all, one day most of these players will also don on the national team color, and this is how they also get to make their mark as well. So for me, I'm very, very happy.
All right, Dr. Elechi, we saw what the D Tigers, did in the Paris Olympic Games, and after they were being ousted out by the United States of America Brendan Wakama came up to say that we have to invest, in basketball down here in order for we to have that talent to compete with the very best like the United States of America, France, Australia, Canada. You could mention right there. Do you think the words or the statement from Brendan Wakama is the reason why the Nigerian Basketball Federation, activated or probably decided to make sure they host the basketball league, the women basketball league down here in Nigeria?
Yes, I think that her words may have motivated the organizers of the Nigerian Women Basketball League to have started the league this time. Because if you check the last edition, which was held in 2000, the time from that time till now is more than enough time that would have had another league. We should have been thinking of concluding the league by now. But if you watch, immediately after the performance of the D Tigers at the Olympics, we are now having a league starting afresh. That is to show that the organizers of the league have seen it, that we can really draw a lot from the performance of the D Tigers at the last Olympic. Because if not for the performance and also the doggedness of the coach, it would have been this time maybe would have thinking of having the league starting by next year. Because the last time after the 2019 Nigerian Women Basketball League, it was until 2013 that another league was held. So I think 2023, from yes. 2019 to 2023, that is a long gap. And when you give such long gap, you are giving room for talents that would have been harnessed within this 4 years period to have gone into oblivion. And at such, when you do that, you are not helping the system. I think the organizers of the basketball league has taken another turn in ensuring that the gains of the Paris Olympic is really totally harnessed. And if we continue this way and we hold on it and see how there is consistency, because in whatever thing we do, I think consistency is what matters. If there is consistency, by next year, the league is also holding at the right time. And those who are supposed to take part are taking part on it. One thing I don't even like is when we're having the Savannah conference, we should also be having the Atlantic conference at the same time. I don't know if you understand me. Now, what comes out from the Savannah and the Atlantic conference, we can bring out the gains and see what we come up with. Not when you are organizing one, you are leaving the other. We should come up with something concrete. Overseas, in America, Spain, and all the big countries, France, what they do, they have a program. We should have a program. At this point in time, this is what we need to do. We don't need to just borrow a leaf. When we have that program, nobody will tell us that by August we should be having our league. We already know, and we plan ahead towards it. Yeah. If we are able to get 2 or 3 talents, or if 2 or 3 talents is able to move overseas, it's a gain. We work from there. Rome was not built in a day. And there is always the saying that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. If we are using this Paris Olympic to start up something, and we have a target, say by the next 10 years, let's see what we get, automatically we'll get there. So I believe the Nigerian Basketball Association is on the right track. They should hinge on that and see what we can achieve in the future. Okay,
let's say it goes. Well, Michael, let's talk about the teams on ground. MFM won the league last time, and we also have former champions talking about Air Warriors, in the mix as well. What do you make of MFM ladies? You think they have what it takes this time to defend the title they won last time?
Well, I think they have what it takes for me because, the financier, as it stands right now, have also focused all their eggs in trying to see if MFM can also continue to, ride on very high. Don't forget, the same MFM team as well also floated a football club right here, but you know how difficult the Nigerian Premier Football League is in terms of, trying to finance the activity of, a club side, playing 19 away games and 19 home games without any sponsor, and it is an individual owned club. It could be very difficult, very tasking financially to deal with. So They went on relegation and went into oblivion. We never heard of MFM Football Club again. So now, I think the only mantra or the only hope for them to continue ride on that wave of MFM Football Club is to focus all their egg to MFM handball team out there and
basketball
team out there, and that is why I'm thinking, because of the backings, not to allow the team go down the way that the football club went. They have more sponsors right now because they want to also continue to maintain that identity of MFM. So I believe they have what it takes, but then they still have other good teams as well. You can't rule out the custom as well, because custom is also a very traditional side that is also very good. But I tell you, they have what it takes. But seeing the level of improvement and development in terms of basketball, I think it's not going to be an easy one for them, no doubt. But then they are going to compete from all fronts.
All right, the Nigerian Basketball Federation instructed each team to conclude players' registration not later than 5 days before tip-off, with each side allowed a maximum of 2 foreign professionals, which will attract 150,000 naira payments on each player. Top 4 teams from each of the conferences will converge in Lagos from 13th to 19th of October 2024 for the National 8 finals. Eventual winners will represent Nigeria in the FIBA African Championship Cup zonal qualifying later in the year. Away from that, let's take a look at the Paralympic Games, as Nigeria preparation for the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games have commenced in Germany, where the athletes are training ahead of the Games. The athletes and company officials would be in Saarbrücken, Germany for 10 days before proceeding to Paris, France for the 2024 Paralympic Games. Doc, let me come down to you on this particular one. You think we've got to the best of preparation ahead of this particular Paralympic Games in Paris?
When is the game starting, and how long have the team prepared? When you talk about Olympics and its preparation, this is not something that you just jump into. I know we had a lot of issue in the last Olympics.
The Paralympics is starting next month.
Next month.
And we're having 10 days camping.
That's what
in
I'm
Germany.
saying. That's what I'm saying. 10 days camping. Now, you don't start preparation for Olympics and you're having a 10 days camping. Most countries start preparation for Olympics immediately they end the previous Olympics. For the Paralympics, we should have started preparation long ago. Now, what we should have been doing now should be camping towards the Olympics while preparation has been on. We know who and who, we start preparing this and know who and who will qualify and who will go. But camping now, 10 days to the Paralympics in Paris, I think is not the right way for us to go about it. And that is why we have always been having problems in all the Olympics games and Paralympics games we have been going. Though you don't take it away from the Nigerian Paralympic teams, because they always do well. I don't know, maybe because of the type of talents we have. That's why most times when they do go, you see them win gold. Even when our Olympics can't, like
everybody
now,
athletes.
Yes, like now we have the everybody athletes. They didn't win anything. There's no way the Paralympics will go and come back without you see that they win some medals, which is always very good for us. But I am suggesting that we should start preparation on time. It shouldn't be this fire brigade approach. They say, when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So let us plan on time. When we plan on time, if we are supposed to have 6 medals, if we plan on time, we may have up to 12. And when we have up to 12, it is easier and better for us. We can build on that. The likes of America, the likes of France, the likes of China, it is not just about population. It's about preparation. We have the money. We have everything. We have the manpower. We have the talent. Let us prepare on time, so that you also put happiness on the faces of our masses. The masses are not happy, not when the government is not treating us very well. When it comes to games and sports that we should also have happiness, the happiness is not coming. I think we need to prepare well.
Okay.
The 10 days preparation for me is not enough.
All right, Michael, taking a look at this preparation, last time in Tokyo, about three to 4 years ago, we came back with 10 medals in the Paralympic game. We had about 4 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze. Total of 10 medals in the Paralympic game last time. With the level of preparation and what you've seen so far, you think we can surpass this?
Well, you know, most time Nigerians will always strive, you know, in the midst of so many difficulties and challenges. And it is known that early preparation is not our culture back here, and that is why most time we keep going to tournament with fire brigade approach and hoping to get the best. But then that is notwithstanding. I heard the team captain of the Nigerian para athletes shortly after the disastrous outing of their able-bodied counterpart, saying that they are thanking the sport ministry for providing the adequate fund for them to, you know, prepare ahead of the Paralympic Games. So for me, I think if there is anything to go by from that statement, it means they are satisfied with the level of preparation so far. And that aside, do they have what it takes to go out there and actually do well? Of course, yes, because going by record, I think over the years, the para-athletes have been doing very well, just like Dr. Weke said earlier. You know, in our outing, it dates back in history that we have amassed a total of 80 medals, talking about the para-athletes, which is, you know, is that contrary different from what their able-bodied counterparts have achieved, which is about 27 medals in all. So for me, if you take a look at the disparity between the para-athletes, what they've won over the years, and what their able-bodied counterparts have won, I think that disparity is much. 80 medals, that includes 40 gold, you know, and about 19 silver. So for me, I have no doubt that they have what it takes to go out there and even surpass our previous achievement. You know, so for me, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping, you know, that the players, I mean, the athletes is going to live up to their word, because shortly after the disastrous outing of the able-bodied counterpart, they came out very clear to also, you know, add their opinion. They say that they are going to wipe, you know, the tears or the shame of the Team Nigeria contingent in the just concluded Paris Olympic Games. So I think I would take them by their word, because in the past they've actually, you know, gone there and beat us proud. And this year cannot be different as well.
All right, Doc, let me come back to you as well. What do you make of it? This is edition of the Paralympic Game. Team Nigeria will be going into this one with 24 athletes, and will be participating in different sports this time. We'll be participating in 4 sports. We'll be participating in para-athletics, we'll also participate in para-badminton, para-powerlifting, and para-table tennis. Which of these sports do you think will be able to amass medals?
Basically, if you check the last Olympics, you see that sometimes you don't just look at Paralympics, rather. If you look at the distribution of the 10 medals, it's not just concentrated in one sport. And you also have to understand, especially the athletics. Nigeria is always have that strength in terms of athletics. Para-athletics. And also has to do with these other sports in the Paralympics. So I see a team that it may not just be basically on the type of sports, but it will be something that has to do with the individual ability and commitment, just like Michael rightly mentioned, that the team captain was saying that I think they are going to make Nigeria proud. So it is going to be more on individual commitment than just the type of sports that they are into. Among the different sports they are into, it depends on the committee. If the athletes are not committed,
I know we've always done well in para-powerlifting.
Okay.
Yes, we've always done well in para-powerlifting.
Other than the other games.
And as well, and also para-athletics as well.
Yes.
But for para-badminton, sometimes I think at some point, para-table tennis as well has also been one of the sports that are giving us medals in the Paralympic Games. So I think with these 4 sports, we should be able to get at least gold medals from these ones I mentioned?
I recall now. I think we used to have some powerful power lifters in the power.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I can still recall in the last Paralympics, and I think with the kind of level of achievement Nigeria have had in that powerlifting, I think there
can
is
get
nothing that will stop us from having at least a gold medal in powerlifting. I think so. Yes.
All right.
I'm very confident on that.
Okay. Well, Michael, just 4 sports. Why just 4?
Well, I think that question will be best answered by the Nigerian Para organization out there. But then we should have made it more expanded, form of sport, because that gives you the leverage to amass or rack up medals in different categories of sport out there. Limiting it down to just 4, it invariably means we have already limited our chances of racking up medals out there. But then sometimes it's not all about the number of sports that you are taking part in. It's about the ability of those individuals to do what they need to do. If we are going out there with 24 para-athletes and we are taking part in 4 different sporting activities, and these 24 para-athletes were able to dominate in their different categories, thereby winning all the winnables in their different categories, that will also be a plus to us. But then I think the limited number of games that we are going to take part in is a disadvantage to us.
But I think one thing we have to consider is which of these sports do we have facility for. Now, in the Paralympics, we have 22 games. That's 22 sports, 22 different sports. And you check in most of these sports, we don't have the facility. So it becomes so difficult. Fine, even if we have the facility, what about the athletes to compete in these sports? When you talk about Paralympics, it's quite different from the able-bodied athletes.
From what we're saying, in athletics, we have 5 athletes will be competing in para-athletics.
Okay.
And then we have 2 athletes will be competing in para-badminton. 9 athletes will be competing in powerlifting. 9. And then we have about 8 athletes in para-table tennis.
That's where my question comes in. How many other athletes do we have in these other sports? Because we're looking at Paralympics. We're not looking at able-bodied men, where you just go to the street and you see able-bodied people that are ready to compete. You go to the schools, you see them. They are very limited. So it is what you have that you can bring to the Paralympics. If you don't have, you cannot bring.
So are you
so
saying
that is the situation we find
ourselves?
ourselves.
We don't have talent, or probably we don't have people that could represent.
Yes, we don't. I think I am seeing it that we don't have people that could represent us in the other sports.
For me, I take a different position, because we have a race of, para-athletes. I don't know if you've been to North, you need to go there and see many of the para-athletes cut across every angle. I think it's about the deliberate plan and intention.
from. So what I'm saying in essence is that we may have them, but how many is readily available? Because the scouting team is not doing their job. So I think it has to do with the Paralympics organization to come in with plans to get more people, more disabled, physically challenged athletes to come in and partake. Because you can't just bring in somebody that it has not been into the system to partake. So we need to have a special program. I think a special program for that.
So guys, how many medals are we coming back with from this one?
I think it won't be less than 10.
Well, I think if there's anything to go by from the last, vision and dream
why
of the
why you
Olympic
laughing?
Committee, we went there, with about 88 athletes, and took part in 12 different sporting disciplines. And then we heard that our projection then was to come back with 12 medals. So this time around, we went there with 24 para-athletes, and we are taking part in 4 major disciplines. So probably we may come back with 4 this time around.
No.
If I must collaborate my own vision and dream.
I think you are getting it wrong. When we had the program here before the Olympics, he talked about the sports minister projecting 12 medals. I was talking about preparation. I was talking about our strength. So these are things we looked into. You don't just come in with a projection of having 12 medals when the preparation is not there. But if you check the level of commitment of these athletes. Going into 4 sports does not mean the 4 sports had just 4 medals. The 4 sports have several medals.
We can even get like 5
good medals
from
more than 5
powerlifting.
Yes,
alone. 9
9
athletes.
Yes.
So the arithmetic is this, Mr. Doc.
So we should also take into consideration that one athlete can also win us up to 3 different medals. So we shouldn't just look at it that it's 26 athletes is 24 athletes is 24 medals. No, one athlete can get us more than 5 medals.
No, Doc, the arithmetic is that if we projected 12 medals because we are taking part in 12 sport disciplines.
For the able-bodied, that we are not committed, that the preparation was something else, that a certain Favor Ofili could not participate in the 100-meter race because his name was omitted, and the organizers of the competition did not her name rather. The organizers of the competition could not follow up and know what was happening to our athletes. So we should take these things into consideration.
But on a more serious note, Kingsley, I think looking at the quality of para-athletes that we've taken to this year's Olympic game, and taking a look at the harmony, the synergy, the understanding that exists in the camp, even before they travel out to Germany to continue their final preparation for this year's Paralympic game. I think we have what it takes. We can do even better compared to what we did last time, because I have actually listened to some of the para-athletes in their interview where they were brimming with confidence, talking very tough, saying that they are going to wipe the shame of Nigerians of not winning any single medal in the just concluded Olympic game. And we see them working towards that. I've seen so many videos, clips out there, where they are training. So for me, I think this time around, we might win up to 12 or even 13, silver wins.
All right, let's see how it goes. We hope that Nigeria will be coming back with a lot of medals this time around. But still talking about the Paralympic Games, African champion Eniola Bolaji has shifted focus to the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. Eniola Bolaji will represent Nigeria in the women's SL3 category at the Paralympics, which will be held between 29 August to 2nd of September at the La Chapelle Arena in Paris, France. The world number 3 told newsmen that she is not under pressure to win a medal for the country. The game expressing delight to be the first female para-badminton player to feature at the Paralympics. Bolaji revealed that the last 4 months in Spain have exposed her to standard facilities and new technique in the game. All right, with that, we'll take a break. When we'll come back from this break, of course, we'll bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of football. Stay with us, we'll be right back. You're welcome back, Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, I'll be bringing the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sports. We talked about the Nigerian Women Basketball League and preparation for Team Nigeria ahead of the Paralympic Games in Paris. But it's time for me to talk football, and we'll take a look at the situation of things as it concerns the search for a new Super Eagles coach. The Nigerian Football Federation has said that they will delay their announcements and the unveiling of Super Eagles coach when there is assurance of payment of at least his first 10 months salary after a resumption. The NFF hierarchy, who spoke with newsmen on condition of anonymity, said the federation is in contact with philanthropists who have agreed to pay the salary of the coach, but that has not been concluded yet. Doctor, I would like to start with you on this one. As big as the Nigerian Football Federation, do you think they don't have money to hire a quality coach for the Super Eagles?
Now, it's one thing, let me look at it this way. It's one thing having money. It's one thing being ready to spend the money. As big as the Nigerian Football Federation, which should be one of the largest federations.
I think the Nigerian Football Federation is 90 years or 91 years now.
As big and as old as, we should have devised a means of settling certain things, when it has to do with the federation. For instance, the major priority of the Nigerian Football Federation should have been having a good coach. And a good federation, even before the expiration of the coach that is on board, should have had arrangement and penciled down certain coaches that will take over. The approach the Nigerian Football Federation is taking in appointing a new coach is something that is unheard of. That was how they were able to do things, and at the end of the day, they appointed Finidi Church. And we have found ourselves in a situation where we played 3 matches, drawing 2 and losing 1. And we are finding it very difficult. We are doing mathematics to see how we qualify for the next World Cup. That shouldn't be the situation of a country as big as Nigeria. Nigeria has played in the World Cup and have had record that even some European countries doesn't have. So we should be in a situation where we should, even before sacking or the resignation of Finidi George, we should have penciled down certain coaches that will become the... Money shouldn't be our problem. Our problem should be getting the right coach. We could get sponsors that should be able to pay the coaches if the federation doesn't have the money to pay.
Okay.
But we're getting it totally wrong.
All right, Michael, what do you make of it? Why is money our problem? Why is money why is money NFF problem at this point, as old as the Nigerian Football Federation, 90 or 91 years now, and they are unable to pay the salary of the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Why is money the problem of the NFF? Is there anything? Do you think there's something they're not getting right?
Why money is the problem is because of maladministration, incompetence, and unseriousness on the part of our administrators. Because as big and as old as the NFF is, one of the oldest federation right here in the continent of Africa, and one of the biggest sporting federation right here as a black nation, talking about the Nigerian Football Federation. Right from NFA before the name was transmogrified to NFF. I tell you, if not for incompetence and unseriousness, administrative lapses from our administrators, there's no way you can be telling me that the Super Eagles doesn't have a sponsor or partners that is going to take the bill of the NFF itself. They have failed to do the needful. There is a way NFF will package the activity in order. Companies, partners will be falling ahead of each other just to make sure they sponsor the NFF because they know what they stand to gain. Maybe your brand is inscripted in the Nigerian Super Eagles jersey that we are about to play. It's a very big brand for you to market your brands out there. But because our administrators have failed to do the needful, we look as though it's a graveyard. People are afraid to come and invest. People are afraid to come and partner. which businessman on earth, Kingsley, will want to put his or her money in a place where you are not going to maximize profits? There is nobody. So I think the problem, the Ring O Roses play that we are playing, is that NFF, they are not ready to change the narrative. And this is how it will remain until we have somebody that is competent enough, until there is that political will, that seriousness to reposition things for good. How can we reposition things for good while we keep recycling the same old cronies within the corridors of administrative proceedings in the NFF? Ibrahim Gusau, you saw how he came into being. It was the former NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, played a vital role, putting him there as his stooge. What do you expect? So these are some of the... My brother, if we want to talk about what is happening behind the glass house, it would be more like opening the Pandora's box, and time will not permit us to go through the gamut. But one thing is very certain, that the NFF have failed in their responsibility, and that is why we are even begging, waiting, searching, clamoring to have a philanthropist this time around to be able to cough out a 10-month salary first, to be rest assured that they can be able to offset the bill on the said coach that is about to be appointed. That is how bad the condition have degenerated from the glass house, and it's a shame.
I think I quite agree with him, because in 1994, a certain young man, Anthony Kojo Williams, was appointed the NFA, as at that time the NFA chairman, and he had a set down rules, programs and policies that he wanted the NFA to achieve at that his time. Do you know that the board, I think it was barely 3 or 4 months, I think some months when he came into office, or it was not even up to a month, the board came up and impeached him because he was dragging the NFA as at that time to what is obtainable outside the country, things that will change the narratives. But because these people are analog and they want a situation where they will always have their way, he was impeached. I think he should be one of the only impeached NFF or NFA chairman. As at then, 1994, Anthony, Google it and check, Anthony Kojo Williams, and they replaced him with a certain, I think, Brigadier General Dominic Oneya, who now served his tenure. That means the system doesn't want change. We are contented, the people within the system is contented with what they have. Maladministration, just like he has mentioned, we need a change. We need fresh hands. If I'm given the opportunity to manage, I should bring in people that are of the same minds, that will do things right. It shouldn't be about how much you should gain. It should be about the legacy you will leave behind when you leave office. I am talking about Kojo Williams because I knew he was impeached. If they had given him time, he would have had time to achieve whatever thing he had, policy and programs he had wanted to. But because they didn't give him time. So I think maladministration and nepotism, tribalism, this is our problem.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what the NFF will do in the coming days to get a new coach for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Doc, of course, I come back to you. Chelsea will be in action in the Conference League today against Everton. I don't know what you make of it, Doc. You're already smiling. Is that a good omen for Chelsea tonight?
I don't really know what to say concerning Chelsea because the policy of the owner of Chelsea is not really straightforward. I don't really know what Chelsea wants, if it is to sign players all over the place, if it is to make money, or if it is to win trophy. But for tonight's game, I think it's going to be a straight win for Chelsea. Chelsea is going to win.
Chelsea will win?
Yes.
Michael, what say you?
Well, for me, I take a different position and opinion. You see, the identity of Chelsea as it is right now has been battered. It has been shattered. It has been tattooed as it stands right now because the transfer policies of the new owner, Todd Bowley, had bullied Chelsea's identity into a fallen bridge as it stands. So it will be very difficult for me to sit here and say, yes, I'm giving Chelsea a chance in tonight's game, because Chelsea that you used to know in years past have lost that identity, and it becomes very difficult. In fact, giving Chelsea a win or a direct win tonight's game, you will be doing that at your own peril, because Chelsea just right now is unstable.
They're in limbo.
They are in, if they are in limbo, it would have been better.
No,
I wangle your way out. For
think
someone that is in limbo, I never knew that is in limbo.
I think
the situation at Chelsea is very complex. So I think Chelsea tonight, they will be pummeled.
I totally disagree with you. The match against Man City, if you watch the match, I think there were about three penalty calls, and the officiating was very poor. Forgetting the fact that Chelsea conceded 2 goals, the officiating was nothing to write home about. You check the possession, Chelsea had much of the possession as compared to the Man City side. But England, being what they are, the game was against Chelsea. In as much as Chelsea I don't really like the direction they are going. There's still a lot of hope for the young lads in Chelsea.
The hope against all hope, hopeless hope as it stands right now, because Chelsea, with a squad number of 40-something players, how do you think that a coach can be able to tinker these players around? These are professionals.
Yeah. That
truly every aspiration of any player is to play week in, week out. You should become the first team starter. At a situation where you are so good, but you have like 7 or 8 or even 6 players in the same position, how do you maneuver such dilemma as a coach to be able to arrange these players?
But the coach has already penciled down quite a number of players about 21 players that he needs. That means the rest should go and look for whatever thing they want from whichever club they want. That's the situation. Between now until the end of August, they should look for a way and look for a club where they will play. I think that's the direct message.
All right. So still talking about Chelsea, we hear they've kept the number 9 shirt vacant amid their links to Victor Osimhen this summer. The Premier League club confirmed new shirts numbers for some players. And Raheem Sterling, who is being linked with a move away, saw his number 7 shirt given to new boy Pedro Neto. Another new signing, Joe Felix, was handed number 14 shirt, which was previously worn by Trevor Chalobah. However, no current squad member has been given the number 9 shirt until the transfer window shut at the end of August. Doc, is this a sign that they might likely get Victor Osimhen to come
that's what we've been waiting for. If Osimhen comes into Chelsea, I think it will give Chelsea a better direction. Not having a certain Nkuku that is playing the first number 9, where he's supposed to score, he's not scoring. And we're also looking at a certain Nicholas Jackson that is there, he's wasting the ball. We need a natural striker. We need a goal scorer. The chances are being created by these players, but who is there to score the goal? So if Victor Osimhen comes to Chelsea, either we buy him outrightly or he's on loan, whichever way, we need him. If he comes into Chelsea, at least half of Chelsea problem would be solved, because Osimhen is a player that can give you 20 goals plus in a season. Last season, most of the time he wasn't at Napoli, but at the end he ended up scoring 15 goals, which most of the prolific strikers we have in Italy could not get up to 15 goals. That's to tell you the quality of the like of Osimhen. So it will be a good addition to Chelsea.
Michael, do you agree that if Osimhen comes, that half of Chelsea problem will be solved, according to Dr. Elechi?
Victor Osimhen down to Stamford Bridge is going to compound the woes of Chelsea even, because as it stands, he doesn't have that latitude of time to have gel with the players. Coming in and you're expecting to fit in seamlessly at a Chelsea team that is individualistic players that are there right now, it will be very difficult for him to fit in. But then, if everything was to be well, if Victor Osimhen had made a move earlier, then start with Chelsea in their pre-season games, I think that would have done the job. But then, not being part of the squad for their pre-season tour is going to find it very difficult to slot in seamlessly as Chelsea. So I tend to disagree that Victor Osimhen coming to Chelsea is going to solve their problem. Rather, it's going to compound the woes of Enzo Maresca.
All right, let's say it goes. We'll look forward to see what happens to Chelsea going forward. Really been an impressive time this evening. Do not worry, we'll be back tomorrow by 7 a.m. For Sports Talk. We'll have more time, of course, to take a look at all of these matters today. And Doc, it's been really an impressive time this evening.
Yeah, I really enjoy my time here with you, and I also believe that the viewers also did enjoy themselves.
Mike, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Sure, I did. You know, Atlantic Television Network is always a place that I enjoy myself, especially talking sports.
I also did enjoy myself as well. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be back for Sports Talk by 7 a.m. Don't forget, peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. My name is Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.